About a year ago, we started with a sermon series on the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. And this is the last one. This is the 8th sermon. I opened the first sermon by asking you if you remembered that old Hollywood Buddhist movie, it was about 15 years ago, called The Matrix. In The Matrix, the hero wakes up to find that his life has been an illusion and that really he's been sleeping and chasing dreams of work, dreams of a relationship, dreams of a life that have all been an illusion while he slept. And he joins with a band of others who are also trying to stay awake in this life rather than choose to sleep. And Buddhism is all about waking up. The very first element on the path is to understand, right understanding. Understand the way things work and the way things are. And the way things are, according to Buddhism, is that life is an illusion and you have to wake up to that realization if you're going to have a life of happiness. Now, chasing happiness is a very good pastime for a life. Only what Buddhism says is that most people chase it in the wrong places. So they try to grasp hold of things that are ephemeral, things that don't last. And so really when you're chasing happiness by trying to look a certain way or have a certain job or be with a certain person or have things go your way according to the picture that you made of how they should go, there are so many opportunities for suffering in that because looks change and people change and disappoint you and things never go the way you pictured them going and you never have that job that you really wanted without also worrying about what you would do if you lost it and trying to keep it. It's just a constant merry-go-round of desire, disappointment, failure, success, rapture, desire, disappointment, failure. What Buddhism says is the way to get truly happy is just to get off the merry-go-round and become peaceful and train your mind to be peaceful. And the whole point of that is that if you train your mind to be peaceful, you will end up with deep happiness that is not as shakeable as the happiness that you were after before. So, how do you do it? Our hero in the movie trained his mind to be so in the present moment that he was able to dodge bullets as they were coming at him in a gunfight. And the filmmaker had to show it in slow motion because you couldn't possibly show a mind so focused that it was calm and slowed down. You had to show the bullets slowing down instead, which they never do. And so our hero could just do like this. And the bullets would go right past him because he was just that cool. So this is what we're talking about today, how to get this present-mindedness. The last element on the Eightfold Path is a pretty highly technical element. It's not just theoretical, it's not philosophical, it's a how-to. This is what you do. You sit down, you train your mind to be quiet. We're going to try it. You've got the sitting down part. Really, because it's kind of socially unacceptable to just be up and walking around during church. So we're sitting down. And then we're going to try to breathe together for 10 breaths. Now, some people enjoy this, and it makes other people mad. So however your brain decides to react, just notice, wow, I'm having feelings about this, or I'm having thoughts about this. And as you count your breaths, we're going to count to 10. If you lose count, it's really no big deal. Just start again. And if you have thoughts, gently invite your focus to come back to your breathing. You ready to try it? Here we go. Do you feel kind of slowed down? Did your mind want to wander? Did you have thoughts? I like this. I don't like this. What breath was that? I could do this every day. No, I couldn't do it every day. I can't do anything every day. I'm going to be a failure. 3. The mind is tricky. The Buddhist teachers call it monkey mind. They say to their students that the mind is like a jungle full of chattering monkeys swinging from tree to tree. Whenever you try to sit down and train your mind to just sit, stay, it starts twitching in very intelligent ways. It thinks of a million things you could be doing instead of this. It says, this is not what I came here for. It says, I am really good at this. This is kind of frightening. I'm so good at this. I wonder how good everybody else is. If I'm the best, maybe. Counting to 10 is the first way to try doing it. So when I say count your breath, you don't have to count like up to 400 because it's not really the point to get the most deep breaths. Just in case you're a firstborn, really competitive person. You count to 10 and then you start again. What's the point in that? Right, no point. Just keep giving your mind something simple to do so that it doesn't do anything else. There's full mind meditation and there's empty mind meditation. It's really both the same thing. You just fill your mind with something to give it something to do, like counting to 10, or you give it a mantra. You say shalom, or you say om, or you say thank you, or you say ice cream. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it's a word that's pleasant for your mind to say over and over again. Something that makes your mind feel peaceful. Just the word peace itself is what some people use. Or some people will stare at a candle flame. That gives your mind something to do. Other people stare at the center of a mandala, a circular or oval image that has a focus in the middle. You can stare at that and use that for meditation. Other people fill their mind with a repetitive prayer. In the Christian tradition, there's a prayer called the Jesus Prayer, and you just say it over and over and over again. Or you say the Rosary, which is certain rote prayers over and over again. Or the Buddhists have bracelet of beads called a mala, and you can have different prayers for each bead. You can use it that way if you want to, just to give your mind something to do so that you can just be free from your thoughts for a little while. Other people do empty mind meditation by picturing a glassy lake or a snow field or a meadow or an ice hockey rink, and whatever makes you feel calm. And when you have thoughts, you just imagine yourself with a little broom just gently sweeping the thoughts off of that clear surface so that you get it back to glassy again or back to snowy again. That is a picture that helps your mind understand what you're trying to do. Some people don't like sitting, can't do it, won't do it. And there's walking meditation too. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about walking meditation a lot. And he talks about focusing your mind just by feeling your feet on the earth. You feel heel, middle, toes, heel, middle, toes. Repeat. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's kind of like exercise. You really don't, you know you kind of want to do it, but you also don't want to do it. There's a lot of resistance to doing it. There's a lot of stories about doing it. And then you do it. And then you kind of get used to it, and then you miss it when you don't do it. Meditation is like that. So continue returning to the breath is what most of the teachers say to do. Because some people, there might be some in this room, I don't know, Unitarian Universalists are kind of bad this way. Some people who will make it so complicated that they, in doing that, resist doing it. You know what I mean? You say, I'm going to do it when I can get that back room cleared out, and then I'll have a good meditation room. I'll do it when I can just get the right equipment. I got to get the right equipment. I got to get a really good pillow and a really good bell, and I need to get something to go under the pillow and maybe a nice plant. Let's go shopping. I can't do it while anybody else is in the house, so I've got to plan my meditation around when nobody else is in the house. And then, but in order to do that, I better go get a book at the office store that has enough spaces so I can plan out. And pretty soon you're in a dream of office supplies instead of actually meditating. There's so many interesting ways to avoid doing it. Just keep returning to your breath. Sometimes the Zen student will say, Master, I feel rapture. I feel bliss. I'm lifted up as if in the arms of the Buddha. And the teacher says, just keep breathing and it'll go away. Master, I saw a vision. I saw a vision of a beautiful golden Buddha and he smiled at me. Just keep breathing and he'll go away. Because what you're searching for is not rapture. That's on the merry-go-round. What you're searching for is not visions. Because then you look for them and you're disappointed if they don't come and you want them again and you're back on the merry-go-round. What you're looking for is constant, calm, matter-of-fact practice with as few stories attached to it as possible. And that calm, matter-of-fact practice with as few stories attached to it as possible is what is so impossible for so many of us. And yet that is what trains your mind to sit and stay, and so that you can enjoy equanimity, so that you can live in a graceful way without being so easy to unbalance by a crashed bank account or a bad diagnosis, where you can have your own equanimity no matter how your kids are doing or how your parents are doing or how your partner's doing. Not to say you don't care. People will say, you're asking me not to care. No. You can care without getting all connected to it. Very difficult. And yet, this is what equanimity is made out of. It's so your mind can feel warm and loose and relaxed instead of tough, stuffed, or pushed and overwhelmed and snappish. My mind, clever little thing that it is, it says, really, because stuffed, pushed, overwhelmed, and snappish is kind of the root of your creativity. So really best not to get too peaceful, because then you won't write anything else. I think that's a lie. If just being warm, loose, and relaxed, being able to dodge bullets is not enough for you, you need to know that in the 90s, late 90s, they were doing studies, they're probably ongoing, at Yale, Harvard, MIT. And what they're discovering is that when you do people who do a regular mindfulness-based meditation, their brain matter, the brain matter that thins as you get older, that brain matter thickens again. You actually create new gray matter, which you need for things like remembering and thinking. So it actually helps older people more than younger people to meditate and create thicker brain matter. They were very surprised to see this result. They also found out that stress-related illnesses often got better, quicker, with medical treatment plus mindfulness-based meditation. Skin diseases like psoriasis, for example, they said you did the treatment and then you do the meditation, and the people who did the meditation got better 4 times faster than the people who just kind of sat around for 20 minutes thinking their own thoughts. That was the control group. Just sit there for 20 minutes, think about whatever you want to, and the other group was meditating, and they got better 4 times faster. So if it's results that you like, you could try this. I am going to try it any day. Any day now. I used to do it, and I loved it. And then I let it go for a little while, maybe 10 years. And here's the thing about the Buddhists, which I love. They say you either do it or you don't. And I try to listen for a judgmentalness in that. You either do it or you don't. So don't is bad. They're like, no, it's not bad. You just either do it or you don't. Like, well, duh. And the Buddhist inside me goes, yeah, duh, but it means everything. It's really everything. You either do it or you don't. So, any day now, I'm going to do it, but today, I don't. And I want you to know that this isn't anything kind of from left field. It's not anything that's not part of our heritage. As Unitarians, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, all that crowd in Concord, Massachusetts, was reading Buddhism and Hinduism, and this is where we get our ideas of quiet mind, of meditation, of the oneness of all things, of the one soul of all things. We get the idea there that you can attend to your behavior to try to live correctly without it being connected to a divine being who is watching you and is either pleased or disappointed. You can let go of a divine being if you care to, who is pleased or disappointed with you, and just still ground your correct behavior in this Eightfold Path of Buddhism. So it's part of our Unitarian heritage. So when I said you'll be able to dodge bullets, really, you might need to train for several years for that. But immediately the effect is that you are able to stay in the present moment now, the moment in between the bullets of what might happen, who you used to be, what they did to you, what you did to them, how you might end up, everything that could go wrong and what you hope will go right. Bam, 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 bam. All those bullets are coming at us all the time. And if you have this quiet and this calm, it makes spaces so that you can see those things coming and just dodge all the stories about what's happening to you and who you are, who you used to be, who you're supposed to be, who they want you to be, and you don't want to be that because then they want you to be, and then they will have won, and then you will have lost, and bam, 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 bam. They're coming at you all the time. A quieter life from a disciplined mind. Just see how it works.